Hi guys, so here we have a Salon redesign for you, and I've entitled these nails the Green Goddess. So I've got nails that the previous set I have e-filed down to a very thin layer and done all the prep and prime, and I'm coming straight in with acrylic now. So I'm using CJP Cherry Blossom, and I've taken the liquid out the back of the bead to create my smile line. Please excuse my camera, it doesn't really know where it's supposed to be focusing when my hand gets too close. So I'm using the tip of my brush just to shape that nice crisp smile line. And making sure it's all nice and even, and then coming in with a second bead and blending back towards the cuticle area and forwards towards that first bead that I placed on. And now with the third bead I am using CJP Negligee, which is a translucent pink, so it gives a softer look near the cuticle area, so it gives a nicer, more natural look to the nails. Now I've started with that now because I'm going to want to file that smile line in, so I'm then going back to the rest of the hand. So I'm infilling this middle finger, ring finger, with Cherry Blossom because I'm just going to press flakes into that later on. And then on the pinky I'm just putting a very thin clear layer before I put down my colour, which is Carbon Grey by CJP. And I'm just using this as a very thin base of colour. It can be used as strength powder, but I just want to use it as design at the moment. And then I'm coming in a little bit of clear acrylic, dabbing it in the glitter, and this is the Peacock Metallic Fine Glitter, and I'm using that as a faded tip. So placing that at the tip and then gently pulling it up. Just adding more as and when I need it. And then capping the entire nail in the crystal glass. And then the smile line is set, so I'm just coming in and filing, pushing against the acrylic, not down onto that very thin clear base, just against the acrylic, brushing away onto my hand and then brushing that dust away so it doesn't get in the acrylic. And then I'm using a small bead of clear to pick up some of the Graphite Metallic Fine Glitter and pushing that up into the wings and around that smile line. And you can see already that that filing and the work with my brush has made a really nice crisp smile line. Then I'm adding a bit of the peacock at the very tip and then fading that back up. So you've got a nice glitter ombre on the tip there. Now I'm just going to leave that acrylic just to set that glitter in place. And then I'm going to put a clear base on the index finger. And then again, using that Carbon Grey as a colour down from the cuticle area. As I'm not pinching this set because they've already been pinched when they were first done 2 weeks ago, it doesn't matter if I go back and forth between different nails to let the acrylic set in between, because there will be no pinching on this. So again, now I'm using the graphite glitter just at the tip and then slowly working up the nail. I'm happy that's had a little while to set, so then I'm going to cap that glitter in clear. I like to go back and forth like this because it gives the chance for the acrylic to set that glitter in place, because sometimes when you go to cap a full glitter nail, when you put the clear on, it can move the glitter and you'll often end up with patches where the glitter was. So if you're working like this or with a slow set acrylic, it will give you that time to let it just set a little bit in place before capping it. And obviously when you're capping, this is when you think about your structure and the shape of the nail that you want to create. And then the last one I'm doing is just doing an infill, again with the Cherry Blossom on the thumb, because the thumb, like the ring finger, I'm going to do a chameleon flake design on there. So I want a nice nude base. Right, that's all set, so now we're going to file it in. Now I have the same filing routine every time I do sets of nails. So I do sidewalls, free edge, cuticle area, and then the body of the nail. If you get yourself into a good filing routine, it can make a big difference into the shape and consistency of your nails. So I always do the same thing on every single nail, so that I then end up with nice even shaped nails. So again, sidewall, free edge. When I'm happy with that, move around to the cuticle area, blend that in, and then I do the entire bulk of the nail, thinking about the apex and the structure, and then I tidy up the free edge and sidewalls anymore. Always making a point to keep moving the nail around, having a look at the nail as a whole, making sure that you're keeping an eye on where you want the apex to be, filing in, and making sure you're keeping the nail nice and even, never working in one spot. So if you do find there's a lot of acrylic on one side, continue to work the nail as a whole, otherwise you'll overfile one side and then that side ends up really flat. So always working the nail as a whole, taking time to stop and look and check. And then when I'm happy with the shape of all the nails, get my duster brush, brush off all the dust, and then I use my little e-file brushy bit to really get in and make sure they're dust free. This looks quite savage because I've sped up the video, but I'm not quite that fast on my ladies. Okay, so now I'm going to use a layer of Megamix, and I'm going to use comic dots in Wump to create a little dot design on the nail. I use Megamix because it's that little bit thicker. Using a dotting tool, I press on the Megamix so it's a bit sticky, and then I go into my dots. You can try and get it out of the pot, but a better way to do it is to pop it in the lid of the pot and then picking up the glitter that way. And I'm just using a random pattern. You can make flowers with these, you can make swirl designs, lots of different designs with dots, but I'm just doing a little random pattern with more dots on one side and then just a few little ones on the other, just to add a little extra to the nail. And then I'm just going to use my CJP LED tack-free top coat on my nail that I want to pop the chameleon flakes on. And then I'm going to pop these in the lamp, and I'm just going to do a 30-second cure. And then I'm going to use my silicone tool, and the silicone tool, the chameleon flakes pretty much jump onto it. And then pressing them on, and then you can either leave them pressed on, but I like to give a little rub as well, because it does break up the flakes a little more. It depends on what look you want. And then I'm encasing the dots in my Megamix again. It's just that little bit thicker, just to make sure that they're fully encased. And then I'm using my LED tack-free on the chameleon flakes, because they don't need quite so much embedding. And then final coat, so the other two only need one coat because they're finished. So using my LED tack-free top coat, and then finishing off the dot design. Always double top coat any embedded materials in gel polish. And I personally always cure 4 fingers and then the thumbs separately. So they're all cured, and then doing the thumb now, putting on my base layer. It's been cured for 30 seconds, and then placing the chameleon flakes on. When I'm happy with how they are, I then pop a layer of the LED tack-free top coat on, and then this layer I partial cure for 30 seconds. The other thumb tries to get in there, And then I'm doing the final layer, and this I will cure for 60 seconds. And then once I've given it a good minute out of the lamp to make sure they're all nice and cool, I then put on my cuticle oil and rub into the cuticles. And there you have it, my Salon redesign on one of my regular clients that I've named Green Goddess. If you have any comments or questions, please place them below. I have listed all the products I've used in the description below. If there are any videos you'd like to see, please just ask below. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to tune in again soon. Bye!